everybody, Gavin McCormack here. Welcome back. Now this week we've been learning all about penguins, and well done to you for researching how they use leadership and collaboration to survive in these icy conditions. We are here in Antarctica. There's a snowstorm about to arrive, and we are at the largest Gentoo penguin colony on Earth, and as you can see, there are literally thousands of them around us here today. We are very lucky, once again, to have Jordan with us. Hi, Jordan.
Hello, Gavin.
Now, this week, Jordan will be talking to us about depth perception. We're going to be asking you to use the penguin colony right behind us to do exactly that. Jordan, tell us, what is depth perception?
Well, depth perception gives us an idea of what is close and what is further away. As you can take a look at the penguins behind us, you'll see some penguins that appear much larger. And as they move further and further back, they appear smaller and smaller. You'll also see a lot more detail on the penguins that are a lot closer to us. And the ones that are really far back, they might look like just little nubs.
That's right. Now, how are we going to represent that this week? What are the children at home going to be doing to try to practice this art of depth perception?
Well, what you're going to be doing is creating 3 different grounds. Now, grounds in art are different stages of depth going back. And the foreground of the composition is the area that's closest to the viewer. So you'll see a lot more detail on the penguins, and they'll be a lot bigger in the foreground. Then in the middle ground, which is a little bit further back, the penguins will be smaller and they'll have less detail. You might not see individual feathers, you might not see their eyes, but you'll definitely see their beak and their wings and that kind of thing. As you move furthest back, that is going to be the background. Now, the background is the furthest point from the viewer, and those penguins are going to be teeny tiny. They are going to be very small, and we're probably not going to see a lot of detail. They might be just little nubbins or lumps or nothing too much in the background. But because you see all of the detail in the foreground, you can tell that those are still penguins in the background as well as the middle ground. All 3 stages if you get that detail in the front.
Amazing. Now, how are they going to create this? Is it going to be a drawing, a painting, or can we use really any medium we want?
I would encourage you to use whatever you have on hand that you can get a good amount of detail in the foreground, but also be in control of what's in the middle ground and background. So whatever you're comfortable with, that you can show those changes, because that's the important thing.
Amazing. Really, really amazing. Now, this week we have an extra activity for you to do. We're all about sustainability, recycling, taking care of the planet, but we also want you to have fun. Now, these penguins here in this colony are Gentoo penguins, and they've just hatched and started to purge, which means they've released all their feathers and they're ready to take their maiden voyage into the Great Southern Ocean, which is a very dangerous place, as you know. Now, this week, we want you to use some recycled materials to make your very own penguin. Jordan, tell us, what are we going to use, and what are we going to do with our penguin once it's created?
Well, there are water bottles and soda bottles everywhere. There's so many of them all over the place. And if we can use anything, even small amounts of these pre-used materials to make art, it's great. And one of the easy ways that we can do that, it's kind of in the shape of a penguin. It's wide at the bottom, it gets smaller as it gets towards the top, exactly like the shape of a penguin.
Are you talking about a soda bottle, like a Coke bottle or Sprite or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Ah, right.
Any one of those. And what we can do is add a texture to the outside, which will give us the penguin's feathers. We might be able to add feet onto the bottom, a beak on the front, eyes on the side, and then color it in whatever fashion you feel comfortable with.
Amazing. Now, what we want to do with that, once you've created your artistic impression of a penguin using recycled material, we want you to make it come to life. Now, to give you an idea of what these penguins do, they're about to take their first voyage into the sea, so you might want to depict that. But, Jordan, how can we make a stagnant, static object come to life?
Well, animation is done through a series of different images. So all you really have to do is take a picture and then move the bottle slightly, or your sculpture slightly, and then take another picture and then move it slightly. That is called stop motion animation.
Wow.
Because you move it and you stop, and you move it and you stop, and you move it and you stop. And it keeps going that way. And you can make your penguin move forward, waddle, have the wings out, all of the cool stuff that you're seeing behind us.
Amazing. Now, one final thing is, if you're working in a group or in a classroom, one amazing thing you can do is get together with a group of friends and make your penguin into a colony, just like the colony we've got behind us. Maybe your penguins can have an argument, or fall out, or go for a walk together, or take their maiden voyage with their friends. How about that?
Molt as they do it, too.
Molt as they do it, exactly that. So, this week, we want you to continue your study on penguins. We want you to use depth perception to do a drawing, and then use recycled material to make your very own penguin come to life. Jordan, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. See you next week.